Good day, everybody. I'm Mark Halperin. Welcome. Happy holidays to you all. As you know, the team from the morning meeting, two-way tonight, taking a much-deserved break this week, but we thought we'd update you a bit on what's going on because there is a lot of news. We'll have the daybook for you and a special dog surprise. So stay tuned for all of that. Interesting over the weekend, big story, of course, the conversations about Ukraine, Russia, but also Venezuela. But also on the other split side of the split screen, a lot of conversation about what I call the two H's: healthcare and housing. So let's talk about what's going on today. The president's got a interesting schedule. First of all, the first lady's getting the White House Christmas tree delivered at noon, and then at 4 o'clock, the president signs an executive order. Currently, that's closed press Eastern time, but lots of talk that he may unveil a health care plan today. Again, talk about that in a second. No schedule for the vice president. Howard Lutnick and Jamieson Greer, the U.S. Trade Representative, are in Brussels for meetings with U.S. trade ministers. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Dan Kane, is down in Latin America as there's increasing talk about Venezuela. Again, we'll talk about that in a minute. House and Senate are out. The Associated Press is in court today trying to get back in the White House pool after being punished for not refusing to call it the Gulf of America. Marco Rubio is back reportedly from the meetings in Europe over Ukraine. A lot of chaos this weekend about the origins of the peace plan. Good statement from the White House, very positive statement from the White House on Sunday night about conversations with the Ukrainians. Erdogan's supposed to talk with Putin today. Here's a headline from the Associated Press. European officials welcome progress in talks on U.S. proposals to end Russia-Ukraine war. The Europeans are supposedly meeting tomorrow. So where this goes next is a little unclear. And there's lots of attention on the chaos, whose plan it was and how it's being adjusted. And, of course, how much the president's putting pressure on Ukraine back on Truth Social on Sunday, saying, the war is Ukraine's fault and the Ukrainians better make this deal. So is there a deadline on Thursday? How much pressure on what are the Europeans saying? But the momentum is towards a deal. Make no mistake. And whether the White House has planned all this out, good cop, bad cop, and floating the plan, changing the plan, I don't know whether it's purposeful. But there are people in the administration who are very optimistic that there's going to be a peace deal by the end of the year, maybe not by Thanksgiving, but perhaps by Christmas. And increasing pressure on Venezuela and increasing talk that Maduro will be out also around the same time. Imagine, and I'm not predicting it, but imagine if there's a peace deal that the Ukrainians accept that seems like, under the circumstances, the best available on offer, and that Maduro is removed without the loss of American life. People say Donald Trump is currently on all this foreign policy emphasis is threatening to disappoint or anger his America First coalition. But again, Trump has never been against aggressive use of American power and even military force overseas, as long as there's low loss of American life and as long as U.S. interests are being served. And clearly, American interests are served by ending this war between Russia and Ukraine, a war of aggression by Russia. Clearly, Maduro being replaced by someone friendly to the United States would be a positive. So we'll see. I'm not predicting, as I said, but those two things are happening. Then on the domestic front, lots of conversation about prices, bacon and eggs at the supermarket, and about energy. And the administration's Scott Bessent and others out saying, more progress to be made, but better than the Biden years. But the two H's are now what's dominating conversations: healthcare and housing. Both very difficult to deal with from a political and policy point of view. As has been reported several places, the president's going to propose a 2-year extension of the Obamacare subsidies, but also limits restrictions on access to those subsidies through various means. Could that be a bipartisan deal? It could, but Lindsey Graham and others are saying whatever happens on that front, there should be a reconciliation bill this next year. That's a Republican plan on healthcare. That would be hard to do. And housing's just hard to fix, right? You need more supply. That's basically it. Can Washington generate more supply? On the margins, but not quickly. And you're seeing lots of Republicans, not just in Washington, but the consultant elected officials in Congress, but the consultant class and people in the states saying, don't send us into the midterms without addressing the two H's, and don't just talk about them, do something about them. So I would look again towards the State of the Union, whether that's January or February. What are they proposing on housing and healthcare? Because there's a huge clamor for that. Lastly, one of you sent in some great pictures. Talk always here about the bubble cuddle blanket from our good friends at Cozy Earth. Well, one of you sent me an email saying, Mark, I got the bubble cuddle blanket. I opened it up, and look what I found. Not just not just use for humans, but here's another use for your bubble cuddle blanket. Take a look. There you go, and another, and another, and one more. So buy yourself a bubble cuddle blanket, or maybe one for your dog, because everybody loves a good bubble cuddle blanket. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Again, the morning meeting will be back on December 1st, Monday after the holidays, as well as two-way tonight. And stay tuned on the morning meeting. We're going to have some great surprise co-hosts for you to fill out the new year, into the new year, rather. So thank you for watching. I'm Mark Halperin. Ho, ho, ho. Have a great day.